my segment.
It's a Cash Show.
It's a Cash Podcast.
Friday, December 2nd, 2016.
It is, December 2nd. I can't believe it's already December.
I wish it wasn't.
I know, I wish Thanksgiving was
I hate Christmas.
I love Thanksgiving.
You already know that. See,
I'm going to skip Christmas and just have another Thanksgiving.
You might not mind Christmas as much because you got a kid. Maybe it changes, like if you have a kid.
Well, I just want to buy him presents that I like. I'm like, let's look at all these Legos we bought Anthony. It's like he's not even one. But he's got Legos.
Yeah, he's going to eat that shit. Don't
Obviously, I'm not buying him Legos. But I love Legos, so I'm like, I'll buy him Legos for when he gets older, and then you can play Legos with me.
Legos are sick. You never get too old for Legos.
They're my favorite toys ever, yeah. I have a ton of them like left over. I'm going to give them to him, obviously.
They're your favorite toys ever?
Favorite toy ever.
My favorite toy ever was like firecrackers.
No, firecrackers. What the fuck is good firecrackers?
Dude, back in the early 90s,
you could trying to like explode frogs and mice? I mean,
no, back in the early 90s, you could do that shit. Like, we used to take our G.I. Joes in the Lynn Woods and we put like a firecracker like
still do that shit.
Under them and like, it was like grenade.
I don't know. Lynn kids are weird. Must be something in the water.
What are you talking about? Lynn kids are weird.
I just told you, Lynn kids are weird.
You didn't play with like firecrackers and shit?
I played with everything. We threw rocks at each other. We threw crab apples at cars. We fireworks. Yeah, we played baseball with a mouse one time and knocked its brains everywhere. We did tons of shit. Like, yeah, dude. When we were little kids, we found like pornos when we were like 6. It was awesome. No one believed in Santa by the time you were in fucking preschool in my neighborhood, so it was great.
I remember the time. I
always found my presents before Christmas. So
I had a Hustler magazine under my bed when I was like 12.
Yeah, we had a fucking...
Dude, and my mom... funny story, my mom found it, and she was like flipping out, like, wait till your father gets home. I'm like, oh shit.
Dude, we had a communal porn, okay? That we found in a construction site at the end of my parents' street. Like,
yeah.
It's the end of the two streets, Rice Street and Marsh Street off a bridge.
Yeah.
We had a communal porn, and it was like... the biggest part of the porn was like some lady just shaving her stuff.
Man.
Like, she was just shaving. Like, that was what the porn was. Like, there was other stuff, and like one chick had just giant boobs, but it was like, it was hilarious because we're all little kids.
So, like, I think I'm going to get my ass kicked. So, like, my mother tells my father, he's like, all right, get down in the basement now. And so, like, we came, like, right here.
And he's like, here's the whole stash.
No, so he goes to me, he's like, look, like, I'm going to, like, yell at you, but I'm really not that mad. So, like, I just got to, like, do it for your mother. I'm like, you're not mad? He's like, no, you're straight. That's awesome.
Yeah, he's like, no offense, but you're not gay. That's good. That's good.
Yeah,
That's
pretty
good.
much. All right, so we got a lot to talk about, but we're going to lead off with the biggest story of the week. Gronk is out at least 8 weeks, the rest of the regular season. I guess if they win the AFC, based on the timetable they gave, he could be back for the Super Bowl.
They'd have to leave us roster spot open the whole time.
Which I doubt they're going to do.
Plus,
I think he's done for the year no matter how
I
far
agree.
they go.
And you and I have talked about this, and we've talked about it with other people as well. He can't play injured anyways.
No.
He's not the kind of person that plays injured. I'm not... He is soft. He is fragile. He's not soft and fragile compared to a normal human being.
He's not soft when how he plays when he's healthy.
But when he's injured and the way he gets injured,
he plays differently.
He gets injured all the time. He babies his injuries. That broken arm, it took him 8 weeks to come back from the first time. It's a 4 to 6 week injury. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm sorry. I'm not saying...
There was an infection.
No. I'm talking about before the infection. The first time he broke it.
All right,
you're not talking about then he rebroke it, then he re-friggin' infected it. I'm talking about, because he got chlamydia in his arm. I'm talking about the first time he broke it, okay, it was a 4 to 6 week injury.
Yeah.
It took him 8 weeks to come back. Now let me explain something to you. I'm not saying anyone's as big a freak as Gronk, or that we're all the athlete that Gronk is, or that we all deal with all the stuff Gronk deals with punishment-wise. But I know so many people that have broken so many bones and come back within 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, because that's what you do when you break a bone. You break a big toe, you come back 4 weeks later and play in your league.
I played with a broken foot.
Right. Now, I'm not saying that we are Gronk. I'm saying that
we're tougher.
I've never met someone that broke a forearm and took 8 weeks for it to heal.
I just want to say, and I'm a witness, when O'Keefe and I worked together in Chelsea, he bent over to pick up a piece of paper and like threw out his back, and he finished that damn shift.
And I finished my damn
finished his shift.
Well, no, every time I ever did anything to my body, even when my body betrayed me and it started to break down, I always kept playing.
Mm-hmm.
Always. Now, again, I'm not Gronk. No one's saying I'm doing anything
I did Gronk's too, and I regret it now.
Yeah, of course. But you know what? That's the thing, is Gronk is a person that literally sits out for the betterment of him and not the team, and gets to it till he's 110% till he plays again. And if he ever comes back early, he doesn't play well.
Unless it's a playoff game.
And how do you play in that Super Bowl with a high ankle sprain?
Well, he couldn't run.
I understand that. But Brady's played 2 Super Bowls with high ankle sprain. It's a different position, I know. Martellus Bennett's playing a whole season right now with a high ankle sprain.
Yep.
And he looks better than Gronk did in that Super Bowl. Not that Gronk, I mean, awesome for Gronk suiting up, but he sucked. He couldn't play.
3 guys showed up for that Super Bowl.
Tom Brady.
Brady, Walker, Hernandez.
No, I was just thinking the holy trinity of Tom Brady. Just him. as God's nephew.
No, other than the safety, the first snap of the game, people realize at the time they went up 17-9 when he threw the touchdown to Hernandez, he was like 22 of 26 for 201 with 2 and like no interceptions.
He had
like 11.
He had like
completions in a row.
the most completions in a row in Super Bowl history at that point.
I mean, that Giants defense was terrible. But,
That Giants team was terrible. They were 9-7 and won a Super Bowl.
they had a good offense. That was actually Eli's one like really good season, regular season in the league.
Yeah, and he'll be in the Hall of Fame. Why? Because he's won 2 Super Bowls against the GOAT.
By the way, I love that meme that I think Tyler sent it to us.
Which one?
It was so true. I didn't agree with all of them.
Oh, which quarterback is where? We don't need to get into that. Come on.
It's still funny though.
It's funny to some extent.
Just so you know, the categories were elite, second tier, fake elite.
It was a quarterback ranking.
Which is where Eli was, fake elite. I love that. Decent, but will never win a Super Bowl. Trash, maybe blind, and definitely blind was Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, only Fitzpatrick was definitely blind. Maybe blind was like Kaepernick and like
Kaepernick.
Blake Bortles. How is Bortles?
He hasn't had a good year, but it's still too early on him.
Right. If you're just going by this year, then
he has a terrible team.
Like I was saying, if you're just going by this year, that has to be completely different.
We thought
through body of work.
We thought Jacksonville was going to be a 7 or 8 win team. I'm shocked that they're this bad.
I thought Jacksonville could have won 9, maybe 10 games if they really played well. They were supposed to be on the uptick.
They got talent, yeah.
Yeah. They had 2 good receivers. Their defense was supposed to be young and improving. Every year you hear, Jacksonville next year's going to be good. It's kind of like Cleveland. But
no one ever says that about Cleveland.
No, I have an uncle that says that because he's a Cleveland fan. Oh, next year we're going to be good.
Yeah, sure.
Remember when they had Peyton Hillis? He's like, we got this guy, Peyton Hillis.
Is he an Indian fan too?
He is.
Oh, that poor bastard.
No, but he is actually happy that they made it that far.
They lost in gut-wrenching fashion. They lost 3 in a row.
I understand that, but he realizes that was an inferior team as well. Well, no, you're an inferior team and your manager does an incredible job. Like,
dude, if the Orioles had gotten to the World Series and were up 3-1 on the Cubs and lost 3 in a row, I would have been devastated.
Look, there's a lot of fan bases, St. Louis included, okay, that if you do something that's just spectacular but you don't win at all, the fans still appreciate you. That's not a Boston thing. Boston's got that like Philly, New York mentality where it's like, if you don't win and you don't win the whole thing, you're a fucking loser, and that's the end of it.
Except for the 67 Red Sox was like the 67 Red Sox and 01 Patriots were the exceptions there.
Well, I think. What do you mean the 01 Patriots? The 01 Patriots won the Super Bowl.
I know, but I don't know.
Oh, you mean if they lost?
I don't know about you. I went into that game thinking they were going to lose, and I said, hey, you know what though? They got to a Super Bowl. That's pretty good.
Right, but dude,
then they won.
We're the city that had a friggin' parade for Ray Bourque winning
that was pathetic.
Stanley Cup.
And it was great for Ray Bourque.
Like, we used to, like, celebrate division champions. Like, we're the best division champs. Like, we were the Indianapolis Colts.
Nothing was...
Right?
Nothing,
we were like,
nothing was,
look, AFC finalists.
Nothing was worse than when the Red Sox hung a banner, and they've since taken it down, thank God. It said, 1999 champions of the division series.
Right.
That was so big.
No, but this town used to celebrate things like that.
Well,
the city of Boston was like, this is how we were as a fan base. Because we were such losers. But there's other places that actually have won and have decent winning history, but they still it's usually Midwestern and like more docile fan bases. But they actually celebrate good teams.
The Cardinals have like a rich championship history, though.
Right, but they still appreciate a good team, even if they lose the World Series.
You're right. The Midwestern thing.
Right, the Midwestern. We're not like that, the Northeast. We're like, they didn't win their bumps. We're like, 2011 Patriots, bumps.
Philly, they are bumps.
2007 Patriots can't be the best team ever, didn't win it. I'm like, dude, they're the best team ever. It is what it is.
I still think the 04 team was better.
No.
And I still think, listen, you're talking about all-time teams. I don't think that 07 Pats team was as good as the 84, 89 49ers. I don't think they were as good as the 85 Bears. I don't think they were as good as that, those Steeler Iron Curtain defenses. That's just my opinion. I don't even think they're the best Pats team ever, let alone the best team ever, period. But has Gronk played his last game as a Patriot?
No.
You think he's...
let me preface this, or...
We'll take it into context. Go.
If Gronk is retired, yeah. If Gronk can't play, this is Gronk's third back surgery in 7.5 years. If he can't play anymore, then yes, he's done.
No, honestly. This is assuming that...
But if he comes back in the league, he's definitely playing as a Patriot.
Next year.
Next year, the year after. It's all guaranteed.
Just because of his contract status?
Yeah. And I'll tell you why. He's on a contract next year, ridiculously low cap hit, and it costs more to cut him than it does to keep him. Unless you're going to find someone... I put that in the email chain to you earlier. I don't know if you saw it.
I didn't.
Unless you're going to find somebody that is going to trade a big haul for Rob Gronkowski, you're not going to trade Gronk for anything less than a first-round pick. You're not.
No.
And you might not even trade him for that. You really
It also
might not.
depends on where the pick is. If it's a top 10 pick, maybe you think about it.
Right.
Bill will listen.
All right, it's a top 10 pick, but Bill will probably do it because there's only so much you can do with Gronk. But just for the record, this is Gronk's contract
Got the
status,
numbers
okay?
up.
Next year, he's a $7 million cap hit. And if you cut him, he has $6 million dead money. So you save $1 million to cut a guy
Bill
for
might
no
do it.
reason. Well, if Bill is going to cut anyone next year, it's going to be Danny Amendola. And we'll get into that later, okay?
Yeah.
The year after that, Gronk makes...
Is that the last year of Danny's deal next year? Is that the last year of his deal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's got a decent... He's got like a $6 million cap hit. He's never going to see that.
Mm-hmm.
2008, Gronk's cap hit is $11 million.
2018.
2018, excuse me. Yeah, 2008. 2018, Gronk's cap hit is $11 million. Now, the thing is, in 2018, that's not going to be a high cap hit
No.
because the cap's going to be like
Gonna
180.
go up.
And he's got $4 million of dead money still. So unless you're going to sign a better tight end or a better player
No.
for $7 million,
No.
you're probably not.
Unless you can get Antonio Brown.
Yeah, you're probably for $7 million.
Yeah.
You're not gonna. It doesn't make fiscal sense to really cut him.
No.
Now the year after that, 2019, only a $2 million dead money and a $12 million cap hit.
That
You
makes
can save $10 million. You're gonna cut him.
And he's
And who knows what he's gonna be?
At that point, he's going to be 30 years old.
Right. So he's probably on the team for 2 more years, assuming he can stay playing and it doesn't retire.
Look,
He may only play 10 games a year. I don't know.
listen. It wouldn't shock me at all if Bill cut him or traded him for a pick because nothing shocks me with him anymore. I think he's going to be back. And for what it's worth, I told you this earlier. I consulted with a back doctor, my back doctor, and I asked her about the Gronk injury. And granted, I'm not a doctor. She did a whole bunch
She's never seen Gronk, obviously.
a whole bunch of medical jargon. But Gronk has had the same disc operated on twice, to my knowledge.
Was it the same one?
One was in college and one was 3 years ago.
But was it the same disc?
I think so. I think it was. We'll try to look this up really quick. But the way she explained it to me, if it's a different disc other than the one that was operated on 3 years ago, it's a simple procedure and he should be ready to go by training camp next summer. If it's the same disc, and she was very blunt, she said his career could be over. Because you can't just keep operating on the same
All right,
disc
like
over
I said,
and
his
over
career
and
could be
over.
over. It really could.
So, I mean, I think people are not realizing that. I still think he's going to play next year.
Last time.
It doesn't say.
No, that's 2013. It doesn't say that if it's the same one or not.
Because he had one in college. That's why he slipped so far in the draft.
Right.
We're
He
trying to...
apparently did get hurt in the Jets game, by the way.
Well, here's the other... Why is he running deep routes?
I don't know. It makes sense for him to run deep routes if he's open.
He wasn't open, though.
He was.
Not really.
Brady could have hit him. He threw it a little too far. Granted, if a guy's going to herniate a disc diving, there's nothing you can do about that.
No.
He's going to dive at some point. He's going to fall at some point.
Didn't he originally hurt the disc in the Seattle game?
No, supposedly not.
He hurt it in the Jet game?
Yeah. That's the word from last night.
And it's not... They won the game without him. It's not even like he had to play. I mean,
Again,
hindsight's 2020.
What are you going to not play him and just hope
Right.
that... What if the next game his
Right.
back just gives
Yep.
out? I mean, there's no guarantee that the guy's back's not going to give up next time he falls down.
No, that's true.
I mean, there's nothing we can do about that.
But we got to talk about something else, and I just want to get into this right now. I don't know if you agree with me or not, because I didn't really hear your 2 cents on this. All I've been hearing the last 2 days is, the Patriots are done. No, they're not.
They're not
They're
done.
not done. You still have Martellus Bennett, who, other than Gronk or Hernandez, is better than anything you've had in the last 4 years. Better than Tim Wright, better than Who Man, better than Scott Chandler.
Better than Edelman.
Well, different positions, but I'm
better-
talking just at the tight end position.
But yeah, you have
By the way,
Bennett.
don't you wish you had AJ Derby now for the 5th round pick?
Yeah, but
I
we'll get
do.
into that after. But you couldn't have known that at the time, and it's not a bad.
Yeah.
You got Edelman, you got Bennett, you got Hogan, you
Deion
have
Lewis,
Amendola,
right?
Deion
Deion
Lewis,
Lewis is
you have
back.
Mitchell. You got plenty of weapons.
Malcolm Mitchell's getting better
James
every
White
week.
still.
James White.
Your offensive line's playing pretty well.
Offensive
Still have Tom Brady.
Offensive line's better this year than it was last year.
Do I think this is a big blow to the team? Yeah,
Of course
I
it is.
do. But you know what? You could still make the AFC Championship game.
No,
You
no,
could
no,
still
no,
make
no.
the Super Bowl.
Hold on.
You could still win the Super Bowl.
Hold on a second. This is a guarantee. Unless Brady goes down and Edelman, unless everybody literally goes down. If they stay, they're not really healthy now. Let's say the health remains the same as it is right now. Patriots are going to be in the AFC Championship game.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Death, taxes, and Tom Brady in the AFC Championship game. Those are guarantees in life.
All right. Can they get to the Super Bowl without Gronk? I think so.
They could win it, too. I'm
Can
not saying it's likely.
Can they win it? You got Tom Brady in one game. Of course you can win it.
Say the chance to win the Super Bowl.
Makes it significantly harder.
Say the chance to win the Super Bowl 4 was 15-20%, okay? It's now half that.
I wouldn't even say half.
Yeah.
Let's say it was 20% then. It's like 15% now.
No, if it's 20% then, it's like 10% now.
I don't think it's half, though.
I do.
I don't think it's a 50% hit.
It's to win a Super Bowl. It's not like the team's just way worse.
Yeah, but people are acting like Brady went down.
Well, and I have some things. A guy said, and wrote an article, that without Rob Gronkowski, Tom Brady is basically Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Ridiculous.
Now, I get what he's saying.
Apparently, he didn't pay attention in 2006 or 3 years ago.
Right. I get what he's saying, and I read the piece, but he's comparing stats of just all the games Gronk missed to Ryan Fitzpatrick's stats over the same period of time. That's great, grand, and wonderful. It's not looking at who Brady was playing with and what actually happened in those stretches, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Gronk's, as insanely injury-prone as he's been, he's only missed 2 long periods in his career. In 2012...
Well, that was, like, what, the last 6 weeks?
He missed 5 weeks and he came back for 1.
That was the Houston playoff game.
No, he came back
the last Miami game.
The regular season.
Yep, I remember.
Okay, so 2012, and then he ended up missing the playoff game because he broke it.
Well, he played the first play, and then he broke his arm again.
Yeah, and then he re-broke it, and then...
he fell on his arm.
Yeah, and then he ended up... then they ended up losing the AFC Championship game.
Which they win if he's healthy.
Maybe. They should have won that game anyway. Well, I don't want to say should have.
Terrible clock management at the end of the first
Worst
half
coaching game I've ever seen by Bill Belichick. By far the worst.
No, Philly.
No.
Philly game last year.
This was worse than the Philly game.
Go
watch that game.
I gotta have to watch the tape, but that Philly game was bad.
Watch when there's no reason and they decide that they just want to... It's third down and it's like third and like half a yard and they decide to quick snap it and get stuffed against the Ravens, who are way smart enough. Like, they have Haloti Ngata, they have Terrell Suggs, they have Ray Lewis, they have all these guys.
And they didn't go hurry up.
And they quick snapped for no reason up the middle and got stuffed. And then had to kick a field goal. There's no reason for that.
No, but I'm saying if they went no huddle that entire game, Baltimore would have gotten worn down. They may have won the game.
Edelman. Walker dropped a huge pass.
No, they were up.
That was one of his big drops of his career.
Listen, they were up. What was the score? They were up 7-6 toward the end of the first half.
I thought it ended up being 13-6 in the first half.
No, they were. No, you know what it was? I think they were up 10-6. They settled for 3 at the end of the half, and they were driving coming out of the half to go up. Did Talib get hurt in the first half or the second half?
I believe Talib got hurt in the second half, and Ridley also died. He's dead. He got hit. He just passed out and dropped the ball.
When Talib went down, Flacco just started throwing whoever Arrington was covering, and they just couldn't stop him. Just threw all over them in the second half of that game. We're actually looking up that game right now. Why the hell not?
Season I want.
No, just go to team and look up it.
Just 2 seasons.
The clock management at the end of the first half of that game was terrible.
Yeah.
Just hit them, and then the schedule will come up.
There should be a...
Alright, so we got that game up here. I think they were shut out in the second half. I don't think they scored in the second half.
They did. They were up 13-7 at half.
And they were driving.
They really should have had 21 points in the first half.
Well, no, they should have at least had 4 more. They should have been up 14-3. Because they settled for a field goal. No, they settled for a field goal.
17-7, you mean. They had 13 points in the first half. 4 more points to 17.
They should have been up 14-7, and they were driving at the end of the second.
No, they should have been up 17-7.
How do you figure?
Add 4 points to 13, Scotty. They left 4 points.
Oh, I was looking at 10. Never mind.
Yeah. And they should have scored a touchdown here. Both the field goals in the first half should have been touchdowns.
They should have been up 17-7, and they were driving coming out of the second half, and Walker dropped
that big pass, which would have been a first down, and they would have been field goal range again.
Yeah. It's a completely different game.
They should have won that game, regardless. Anyways, Gronk missed 5 games in 2012, okay?
He missed, 10 games the following year?
He missed...
That was a year he didn't play until, week 6, because he had the forearm thing.
He missed 9 in the next one.
And then T.J. Ward blew out his knee
Right, he missed
in
9.
Cleveland. Against Cleveland.
Okay?
14, he played every game except the last one. Last year, he played every game except the Philly game. And this year, he missed the first.
In 2012, Tom Brady's quarterback rating was a 98.7, okay? The games without Gronk, his quarterback rating was a 90.4. So he didn't suddenly become an absolute bum.
Not as good, but he wasn't a bum.
Right.
What was the team record? You got that there?
Yeah, they were 12-4 that year.
No, without Gronkowski, I'm saying.
I'm pretty sure they won all their games or lost. No, they lost 1 to San Francisco, I believe. Maybe 2, but I think it was 1 to San Francisco. I'll tell you right now.
Okay, you should just... Yeah. He got hurt in the Indy game. He got hurt in the Indy game.
Yeah, he did.
So they went 1, 2, 3...
4-1.
No, they went 5-1.
No, he played in Miami.
Oh, that's true.
Okay, so
4-1.
They went 4-1. So they're fine.
They won a playoff game without him.
They went 800. They went 800.
They scored 41 points without him in a playoff game.
And I know. Right. My point is, people are cherry picking and saying, "Oh, without Gronk, Tom Brady's this good." No, he's not. Okay, so that's 1 year. Now, if you take out the San Francisco game, by the way, because without Gronk that year, Brady was 123 of 208, 1,567 yards, 11 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 90.4 rating. Better than average, but not great.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? That's missing his top weapon. That includes the San Francisco game where he was 36 of 65. Granted, he put up 443 yards. He had only 1 passing touchdown, 2 picks. That game, he had a rating of 68.9. You remember that game? That was that great game where they fell behind by huge.
I could have gone to that game.
I could have too.
Yeah.
Now, what happened was...
No,
he also had a rushing touchdown.
They were down like 31-3, and they came back.
Right. If you take
tied it.
If you just take that game out of there, Brady's 87 of 143 for 1124 yards, 10 touchdowns, 3 picks, and a quarterback rating of 100.1. So my point is, the best defense they played that year, they were missing Gronk. Whether Gronk plays that or not,
scored what, 35 points?
Yeah.
How many did they score that night?
It was 34. And the thing is, they scored 34 points against probably the best defense in the league
at that time
without Gronk. Now Brady didn't have a phenomenal game QB rating wise. But people are just using QB rating to rank how good Brady is without Gronk. That's asinine. 2013, Gronk misses 9 games. Okay? Without Gronk, and I have the 2 different splits of each period because he didn't play for the first 6, and he didn't play the last 3. Okay? Without Gronk, Brady is 198 of 344, with 2,134 yards, 12 touchdowns, 6 picks. Okay? For a quarterback rating of 80.3.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds pretty bad. Quarterback rating of 80.3. People have to remember, the whole season, he was 380 of 628, 43 yards, 25 touchdowns, 11 picks. So, his touchdown interception ratio is almost the exact same. His quarterback rating with Gronk and with everybody for the season is 87.3. Why did he suck so bad that year? Throwing a bunch of rookies and scrubs.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so when Gronk went down, he had no one. He had lost Walker that year. He had lost Hernandez.
Yeah.
He had lost Danny Woodhead.
Amendola was hurt. Other than that drive in the Buffalo game in Week 1, he gave him nothing.
They lost Amendola. Who else did they lose? Brandon Lloyd.
Yeah, Hernandez killed him in the trailer park.
But my point is, he
That's
lost
Lloyd, I'm kidding.
all of these players. And he was throwing to Kembrell Tompkins, Aaron Dobson, Edelman, who was their good player that year. Then they had like Blair White, and they had Austin Collie.
Dude,
and they had Matthew Mulligan at tight end. Okay, so let's not act like just because
I was
Gronk
at the
wasn't
Saints
there,
game that Kembrell made that touchdown.
right. And Brady actually didn't play horrible that year. He carried that team to an AFC Championship game without Gronk.
We talked.
Do you admit that?
Yeah, we talked that entire year that if you put Brady on Denver, they go 19-0.
Right.
Well, actually, I don't think anyone's beaten Seattle that day, but still.
So, and then if you were to look at QBR, okay, which is ESPN's quarterback rating, like total quarterback rating, okay, for the season in 2013, the whole season he was 65.9. Without Gronk, he was 59.9. So he was still above average quarterback. In 2012, he was 79.4 for the season, okay. Without Gronk, he was a 70.1. That's still Pro Bowl to MVP type season, depending. on everyone else's stats. If you again take away the 49ers game, excuse me, it's a 72.2.
Mm-hmm.
That's a damn good QBR.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he was a very good player without Gronk. He doesn't need Gronk. I'm not saying, obviously, Gronk is the greatest tight end from a talent-wise perspective in history. I don't think he's passed Gonzalez yet. If Gronk dies today,
Peak was better.
right. If
Way
Gronk
better.
dies today, though, Tony Gonzalez is still the best tight end ever. He is. If Gronk dies today.
I'm not sure. Tony Gonzalez is a great tight end. I'm not sure he was as good as Shannon Sharp, to be honest with you.
Oh yeah, he was.
Shannon Sharp
was very good too. But and those three are probably the three best tight ends ever.
I still think Bavaro. We disagree. I still think Bavaro should be in the Hall of Fame. I know he didn't do it.
We went over this. Bavaro had like 2.5 great years. It's like, what are you gonna do? Like, I understand, and I've told you this isn't baseball, so it's not like gotta have 3,000 hits. Like, you don't have to have 10,000 yards, but it's like I told you earlier. I'm not sure Gronk's a Hall of Famer. He probably is. But I don't know if he just stopped playing today.
He's getting it.
If he stopped playing today, he's 4 Pro Bowls, 3 All-Pro teams. That's it. A lot of 4 Pro Bowl guys. Welker has more Pro Bowls and All-Pro teams than that. He ain't in the Hall of Fame.
Walker's borderline, in my opinion.
He is borderline.
My point is,
even if Gronk gets in, he's not like a slam dunk incredible Hall of Famer. If they had a Hall of Fame pyramid for NFL players and he gets in, he's in the low level. He's not in the house. He's not at the GOAT table. He's not in the GOAT room. He's not in the doorway. He's not in the patio. He's like the Pau Gasol, okay, of NFL players right now. If he dies today, he's not dying today, but you know what I'm saying.
You don't know that.
Well, he made it through surgery fine. Unless he goes out and parties and kills himself. Like, we don't know.
I don't know. I think he's going to play next year.
I do too.
I think it's going to be for the Patriots.
And the reason I think he's going to play is because in college, he had a $4 million insurance on himself. And when he got hurt in college, they said, if you just stop playing football now, you get $4 million. And they said you can still go to school with scholarship and everything. So he could have stayed, finished his college degree, kept his $4 million, made $160,000 on interest every year, like he said himself, and just stopped playing from there. And he would have been set for life. But he wanted to try to come back and keep playing. And then once he tried to come back, he voided that insurance policy, but gave himself the opportunity to play in the NFL, which is not a guarantee at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So if he's willing to do that and give up possible financial security for his life, just on a dream of playing in the NFL, he's going to keep playing now.
Mm-hmm.
He is. It's just, and I hate to say it, the guy might not be able to walk in 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, but he's probably going to play until he has another back surgery.
And I got to say this as well. Gronk should get a second opinion, a third, and a fourth opinion. All right, talk to.
Gronk should get an opinion every day.
Talk to a bunch of doctors. But if it's the same disc and they're all unanimous that your health is at stake for the rest of your life, he should walk away. He should probably walk away.
Yeah, he might want to walk away anyways.
I don't think he wants to.
No, not like him, but like, I mean, for health reasons.
Yeah,
From a strictly health standpoint.
Like if they say like you could end up being a cripple, then you got to think about it.
That's my point.
You go in the Hall of Fame. You got a ring.
But what's Gronk without football unless he joins WWE? Like he said he would. Like, I mean, what's Gronk without football?
That would make me.
But you know, he could hurt his back in WWE.
No, he would just go out and cut promos. He wouldn't do anything.
But what's Gronk without football?
Dude, Donald Trump was in WWE.
Yeah, but Donald Trump's was like wicked easy. He just went over him. I was like,
dude, he punched Vince. And
that's it.
I remember Jim Russell was like, Donald Trump.
Okay.
That's on YouTube, by the way. Our next president was in WWE.
Now, real quick, we're gonna get into. Because everyone's freaking out. All Patriots fans are freaking out. Like, this season's over.
I'm not freaking out.
No, but a lot of them are. This season's over. No more Gronk. It's the end of the world.
Look it. It's not the end of the world. I still think they can go to the Super Bowl. I still think they can win the Super Bowl.
By the way, I
don't trust his defense.
And I don't trust the defense, but they're way better than everyone makes it.
I don't trust the defense, but it's Tom Brady in one game. You're in the game.
Also,
period.
Let me explain something to you. Okay? Even if they go to the Super Bowl and lose, I'm okay with that.
I'm not.
Why?
I don't want to go.
If Tom Brady goes to 7 Super Bowls, that's fine with me.
I don't want to lose.
It doesn't hurt anymore when we lose Super Bowls because we've been to so many. I'm like, whatever. Like, I'd rather see us go to the Super Bowl and lose than lose in the first round of the playoffs. Everything makes Tom Brady look better. Bill Belichick look better.
Losing the Super Bowl is like it's the worst feeling in the world.
It's a horrible feeling.
It's awful,
dude. 07. That was a demon inside of me. It's been exercised. We're good.
I'm still not 100%.
I'm 100%.
I'm like,
and there's no way. We're not undefeated this year, right?
No.
All right, then this is not going to hurt as bad as 07. So even if they made the Super Bowl and lost, say they lost because Gostkowski missed a extra point, I'd be okay with it. I'd be like, well, you know what? Tom Brady should have like 8 Super Bowls, but, you know, things happen when other players can't play well. All right? I got the free agent list of the Patriots for next year. I also have.
Oh, by the way, quick aside before you get into that, Bennett's getting paid.
You might be listening.
He's the big winner right now.
I have every NFL team's cap space. Well, not every. I have the top 10 cap spaces in the league next year.
The teams that matter,
No, the top 10 cap spaces for next year.
even if they're shitty teams.
Yeah.
All right.
Whoever has the most cap space,
Go ahead.
free cap space next year.
Lay it on me.
Where do you think the Patriots land?
As far as cap space?
How much cap space?
What, 1 to 10?
Yep, they're in the top 10 for cap space next year.
4th.
Patriots have the third most cap space going forward into next year. Okay, they have $60,444,466 of cap space next year. Now, granted, a lot of players aren't signed. They have $60 million.
Is that what?
Why don't you name the other four teams in the top 5?
Is that without Amendola in the books?
That's with
That
Amendola
number?
in the books.
That's with Amendola.
Yeah,
Okay.
they can cut him and save
And
like
it's
$3
still-
more million.
It's still $60 million.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
all right.
What, the other...
Why don't you name the other 4 teams in the top 5? I'll name the other 5 teams in the top 6 just to get shits and giggles out of how crappy these teams are.
Cleveland.
Cleveland's number 2. Ding, 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 ding.
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville's not on there. We have way more money than Jacksonville. Jacksonville's not even in the top 10. That's how shitty they are.
Okay. I don't know. Buffalo.
Nope.
San Diego.
Nope.
The Niners.
49ers are the 6th with $47 million. So
All right,
we have
I don't feel like guessing.
we have
Just tell me.
$13 million more than San
Just tell me.
Francisco. So think about that.
Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay has the most. The Bucks have the most money with $69 million. The Browns have $65 million. We have $60. After that, you have $11 million less with the Titans. Okay. Then the Bears have $48 million, and the 49ers have $47 million. You have to get to the Colts and Redskins and Raiders down at 46, 46, and $42 million respectively, till you start to look at decent to good teams that have a lot of cap space.
Where's Denver on that list?
Denver probably has like $20 million or $10 million.
Pittsburgh and teams
There's teams that have very little. Okay? That sounds like, whoa. The Pats have a ton of cap space. They do.
I'll
You
tell
know
you-
what else?
I tell
They
you
don't
what.
have a ton of free agents.
I tell you what, it's a good thing that they have all that cap space because they have to rip down this defense and build it from scratch.
No, this is what they got to do. Look, these are the free agents for next year for the Patriots. Jabal Sheard, Martellus Bennett, Sebastian Vollmer, Barkevius Mingo, Chris Long, Alan Branch, Dante Hightower, Brandon Bolden, LeGarrette Blunt, James Devlin, Logan Ryan, Jaron Harmon, Greg Scruggs, Cameron Fleming, Brandon King, Justin Coleman, Malcolm Butler, Michael Williams, Woodrow Hamilton, and Matt Langle. Okay? I only put stars next to guys that are even have a decent chance of mattering. Okay? Then I put 1 to 5 stars. The only 5 stars guys are
Hightower.
Bennett and Hightower.
Butler should be 5.
I made Butler 4.
Okay.
And you want to know why? Because he's a restricted free agent. It's restricted.
Good point.
A lot of these guys are either... We have...
UFA is unrestricted free agent.
We have a bunch of unrestricted free agents. Then we have 2 restricted free agents with Cameron Fleming and Malcolm Butler. Which means if anyone offers them a sheet, we get to match it, or we get compensation.
Right.
And
What do you get? Like a 3rd round pick or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then ERFA, which means the exclusive rights free agent. Which all you got to do is offering the minimum qualifying offer, and they have to sign with you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So really, you're probably going to have to pay Bennett if you want to keep him, which I'm cool with anyways. I franchise him.
You could franchise him.
I
right?
franchise him. Okay? I franchise him.
How much? What does that come to?
It's probably like 12, 13 million. I'd do it anyways.
Yeah, why not?
I sign Hightower.
Hold on, is he going to be a malcontent about that though?
I tell him, listen, you have a few different options. I'll give you like $9 million for 3 years or 4 years, and we can backload it, front load, doesn't really matter, and we'll give you like $15 million guaranteed or something like that. Okay? Or you can get franchised because we're keeping you. We want you to play here. You like being here. You're a winning team. You're getting paid for another year if you're franchised, then you can go try to get a deal somewhere else. I mean, tight ends can play into their mid-30s now. So he's only going to be 30. If he wants to sign for a 3 or 4 year deal here, we'll pay him decent money. It's not going to be the highest paid tight end, especially considering we already have Gronk on the team. But you want to play for a winning team, or do you want to go play in Chicago again? You can probably make $2-3 million.
We'll play with
more
Jay
a year.
Cutler.
Yeah. Why don't you try to get some nice endorsements being in the New England area? If he plays well, people will give him endorsements. Sheard, they might be able to re-sign Sheard because he's probably going to be cheap. He's not that important, but
Unless Bill just doesn't want him. He's kind of in the doghouse right now.
Volma, you don't have to re-sign.
No.
He's old. You have an offensive line. Your whole line signed. Barkevius Mingo, you don't have to sign. Chris Long, you don't have to sign. Alan Branch, I'd like him back.
I like
but
Branch.
if he doesn't come back, whatever. You got to sign Hightower. Bolden's meaningless, not to be rude to him.
Yeah, you got White and Lewis.
Yeah, he's just a special teams like backup running back.
Every
LeGarrette
time
Blount,
he touches the
honestly,
ball,
you don't have to re-sign Blunt.
Brandon Bolden, other than the touchdown in Denver last year in the regular season, what has he done?
Nothing.
Right.
LeGarrette Blount, you don't need him. You don't need James. I'd like to have Blunt back, but he's like a 3-star. Like, we'd like to keep him, but he's going to be 30-year running back.
You can get a good running back in the 5th round now.
You can go running back anywhere. Just pick him up off the scrap heap. Say, run forward. Okay? James Devlin, not needed. Logan Ryan, Deron Harmon, meh. They're both like middle-of-the-road guys. Cameron Fleming, you don't need.
Ryan, he took a big step back this year.
Yeah. Michael Williams and Matt Lengel, come on.
No.
All right? The guys that you have under contract, you have Brady, Gronk, Edelman, McCourty, Gostkowski, Chung, Solder, the Cannon, actually the whole offensive line. You got Lewis, you got Malcolm Mitchell, you got Malcolm Brown, you got Ninkovich. You got a first-round draft pick.
Ninkovich can't play anymore.
He's all right.
Yeah.
He's not great. You got a first-round draft pick, a second-round draft pick, 2/3 or 2/4. It depends on what the Cleveland picks ends up being. Okay? It's probably going to be 2/3. Then, so you have 2 of one and 1 of the other. Then you have a 5th and a 7th.
Bill will trade them all down for like 8 7ths.
That's fine. Because you know what? Your team is in great shape. You are literally in the best shape of any team in the league.
They need.
You can trade
They
Jimmy
need
Garoppolo.
to tweak this D though.
That's fine. Trade Jimmy Garoppolo, get a second-round pick, draft yourself a tight end or 2, and a bunch of defensive players, and you're golden. Re-sign Hightower, maybe pick up 1 free agent.
If they trade Garoppolo and get a second-round pick, I want a linebacker. I want a defensive lineman. I'm not drafting a tight end.
I'm drafting a tight end. Why would I not draft a tight end? I hate this. This goes back to the Danny Ainge situation when he drafted Kendrick Perkins. When you have a position of strength, there's no reason you can't continually bolster it. They had Shaq. They had Perkins. They had, I don't even know what we want to call him, the ghost of Jermaine O'Neal, the corpse of Jermaine O'Neal, I don't know, the zombie of Jermaine O'Neal. Okay, they had him too, but that was a position of strength. Instead of reinforcing that and playing to his strengths, he traded Perkins and Shaq got hurt. That left you weak. You need to pay Martellus Bennett. You need to hope Gronk comes back healthy. You need to sign a young tight end. Because you're not that far away from Bennett and Gronk not being on the team. That's only 2 years away. It's not that far.
I still think they need to rebuild the D.
What would happen if you got a tight end that was in between the Bennett to Gronk level talent? That was a baby getting paid like $600,000 a year.
It's great.
All right. So what's wrong with that?
I'm just
or
saying.
$1.5 million a year, whatever he's going to get paid, depending on where he's drafted.
What if you get the 34th pick and there's a stud linebacker?
I'm not saying don't draft a stud linebacker. I'm saying you could easily draft a good tight end that's going to be developable.
Have you seen the linebackers? Have you seen the linebackers around Dante Hightower?
Atlanta Robinson isn't horrible. Your brother thinks he's the best player ever. He had one good game. He was like, this kid is amazing.
He plays good in spurts.
I'm like, all right, he makes tackles because Hightower blows up like 3 blockers. Like, making a tackle isn't all about defense.
He's undersized. He's got a good motor, but he's not an every down linebacker.
I agree.
Not even a third down.
But they only run 2 linebackers now.
All right.
They run 3 safeties, 2 linebackers.
They got Shea McClellan in there. They got the Van Noy. What's his name?
Van Noy
from Detroit.
Yeah.
He actually made a play in the San Francisco game.
Chris Long made a play last week.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to do a Pats Jets wrap up?
Yeah, let's get into that because I mean, looking at this though, the Pats are in the best shape of anyone in the league. Honestly, I just gave you the teams around them money wise.
They're gonna have a 40-year-old quarterback,
and he's still gonna be the best or one of the best in the league.
Probably.
Okay, so Rob Gronkowski be damned. Pats are gonna be fine. They might make. Like I said in the chain when we were talking recently, he may make 3 more AFC Championship games, 2 more Super Bowls, and win 1 more. We don't know. But that's quite possible with this team, the AFC, and Tom Brady.
All right. I did put on my list here to do a Rams preview. We're going to do the Rams preview right now because it's going to be quick. Even with all the injuries and the defense playing like shit, they should crush this team.
Oh, yeah.
They should win 30 to 13.
Defense isn't playing like shit.
You keep saying that every defense plays like shit. A little bit, but the only reason they scored their first touchdown on Sunday is because Butler knocked the ball loose after Fitzpatrick completed it and the guy ran for 15 yards. Can't remember who fumbled it.
My point is, a lot of teams don't have. There's like 3 or 4 good defense in the entire league. That's it.
Now you got Denver. You have
Denver. So you have Seattle. You have the Vikings.
Vikings are okay.
No, Vikings are good. That's about it. Try to name a couple more good ones.
Yeah, you got a Celtics score.
69-69. Minute 30 left in the third. Okay?
That's how bad the Celtics team is. And we're gonna get into the Celtics.
But we're going to look at the NBA, NFL defenses, the NBA defenses. Good Lord. By the way, this is going to be mostly football. If you guys didn't get that.
No, we're gonna talk about the Celtics. I have some.
Yeah, we'll talk about it a little bit.
No, I gotta.
Blah, blah, blah.
I got something to say,
Yeah, Scotty.
and I'm gonna shock the shit out of O'Keefe
Right.
because I have a comment about Rivers. We'll get there.
We'll get there. All right. This is just we're doing points per game, but Seattle, Minnesota. Oh my God, New England's third in points per game in the league. Baltimore, Dallas, Giants, Philly. Philly's pretty good. Actually, Giants have a pretty good D. Baltimore's defense is
I
okay.
expected Kansas City to be
Dallas'
higher.
defense isn't that good.
I expected Kansas City to be higher.
They're okay. They're not hard. They're not great. They're a pretty good defense. I think Denver's better than that.
Here's your Rams preview. They should blow them out. Jeff Fisher, I think, just passed Landry for the most losses ever, and he did it in 5 fewer seasons. He's made the playoffs 5 times in like 20 years.
The thing with Jeff Fisher is he's like Mr. 500.
Yeah,
He's like right above 500.
and he has 1 Super Bowl appearance, and he had
And
another.
he's made the playoffs a ton of times, with a bunch of different teams, though.
He's made it exactly 5 times.
I think it's more than that.
And I think it's
I've
5
been head
times.
coach for a long
I
time.
think it's 5 times.
Are you sure?
I think it's 5 times.
Well, it was even more times than that.
All right, I don't know what Goff is going to give him, but it's a rookie quarterback coming into Gillette Stadium. How does that usually end up historically? Not
Patriots
well.
win.
Right. Not
Tom
well.
Brady if Tom Brady plays, which supposedly is still questionable, he's going to play. He practiced
He's
twice.
gonna fucking play.
All right. If Tom Brady plays, he's going to win.
He's not a fugazi like Jimmy. He's gonna play.
He's not a fugazi.
That game that he missed against Buffalo. Any doubt in your mind Brady plays that game?
No, we talked about this. There's
Okay.
no way. He definitely plays.
He was a player on that Bears team.
Yeah.
He's serious?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Oh no, he was a defensive
So
assistant.
he has
I thought he was a
1,
player.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 playoff appearances.
Excuse me. 6.
Okay.
He's
We
also
don't,
he's
we
been
don't
coach-
count the coordinator ones and all that shit that people
No.
put on. Yeah.
No, we're talking head coach.
Yep. Head coach.
And that one Super Bowl appearance never should have happened. The Bills choked in that Music City Miracle. Game was over.
But
It was also a forward lateral, and they didn't call it.
he's got 173 wins, 163 losses, and a tie. He's 5-6 in the postseason. Not gonna tell you he's great. He's a slightly above average coach.
I would say average.
But most guys can't do this for that long.
We'll see.
If you're not one of the good ones, you really not too many guys can stay over 500 for too long.
So we'll do a Jets wrap up here. Obviously, Gronk got hurt in the first quarter the other day. My 1 second guess. There are a couple second guesses. I'm going to pick out a couple of plays. Number 1, they gave Dion Lewis a very, very generous spot in the first series. And for some reason, they didn't quick snap it. So it couldn't be reviewable.
It's McDaniels and Belichick's fault.
I agree. The Jets were like, duh, should reach out. Duh. They were doing that for. You took a timeout and bailed them out
Yeah.
because you didn't get the playoff. So they go back and they reverse that and they end up punting. And there was another when the Jets held, I believe, on one of their first drive. There was offensive holding, and he could have taken the penalty.
He got him out of field goal range.
Third and 18 got him out of field goal range. He declined the penalty, making them kick a 52-yard field goal.
And they made it.
They made it, but that tells me that he doesn't trust his defense to get off the field.
On 3rd and 18.
Apparently, he doesn't trust him.
I know. I would have pushed him back. I would have
So
pushed
you
him back.
second guess that.
Yeah. The other thing, and the end of half minute clock management. You get it to Chris Hogan, you have about 30 seconds left. He doesn't go out of bounds, which is fine because he got a first down, got a bunch of yards for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Now you're around the 20. You have 1 timeout left. You have to call the timeout.
And they didn't call it,
They wasted like 20 seconds, and they had 1 shot at the end zone, and then had to kick a field goal.
which Gostowski missed.
Right. You call the timeout there. You now have 30 seconds. That's either 3 shots to the end zone and then a field goal attempt, or another shot up the field on the sidelines where you get out of bounds, and then 2 shots to the end zone from closer, and then a field goal attempt.
Mm-hmm.
But you lost the ability to have at least 2 plays. Maybe even 3, but probably 2 plays. Depends how long the plays were going to be. Makes no sense.
So the last possession of the game, of course, they scored the go-ahead touchdown. They were down 1. Yeah, they were down 1, right?
No, 2, because they had to go for 2. You're talking about...
No, they were down 1 point, right? They were down 17-16, and then they scored the touchdown. They went up 22-17. Then they went for 2.
Right, then they had to go for 2.
And they said that White didn't break the plane. And
He didn't.
Okay. So, I mean...
I don't know why he didn't give it to Deion Lewis anyways.
Yeah, I mean...
He's better at that. He's faster.
He can turn the edge faster. But... Could you second guess them that they should have... That I believe the Jets had 2 timeouts. There was like a minute 50 left. I believe it was a 2-minute warning. Force them to take all the timeouts. Take the clock all the way down, kick a field goal, then kick it away. Any second guess there? Because I texted you, I said they left too much time.
Well, they'll have to wait too much time on the clock. Only problem is...
My only problem with it...
You have to bleed it like crazy. And hope Gostkowski makes a field goal.
That's a good point.
And you're going to bleed it like crazy, then hope
Well,
that...
I mean, they were at like the 3. Is he going to miss that?
He could. The way he plays, yeah.
Because that's like half of an extra point now. Like, he could probably make that with his left foot.
You hope. We don't know with this guy anymore. That's the thing. I feel bad, but he's not the same player at all.
Yeah.
He's really not. So, a few other things in the NFL. I know that we've been talking about the NFL for like 40-something minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But
Everyone's tuning this off.
Joe Theismann...
You know there's someone who like listens to like a show like they never talk about the Bruins. What's wrong with the Bruins talk?
It's like, all right, you need like 17 more Marchands and
right, the Bruins. It's right here.
5 more Patrice Bergerons and you'll be great.
It's right here. That's going to be a really slow team.
Oh, they're not that. Bergeron's not that slow.
Yeah, but you're gonna have like 5 centers. You're gonna have 5 like left wings.
No, you're gonna have a ton of left. Obviously, you don't need just those players.
But I actually did have the Bruins on here. I had the Bruins need goal scorers, period. And they actually want to shoot out the other.
Joe Theismann said Romo should retire, though.
I disagree.
I don't know if I do.
He's 35 years old?
He's had a ton of back surgeries, and he's had a ton of collarbone issues.
Yeah, it's different, though, as a quarterback.
Is it? Because he gets hit every time, and his back gets broken.
Do you know where I could see him ending up next year?
I don't know.
Denver.
Okay, and what happens if he gets hit and dies?
What happens if he's really...
They got 2 young quarterbacks.
Yeah, they both suck. Simeon's all right.
And Lynch, it's too early. They just drafted him.
Lynch looks like a bum.
He's going to play this week because Simeon's not going to be able to play, I guess.
Yeah,
but they just drafted him.
Jacksonville. Play Anthony James O'Keefe, and you're going to win that game.
Oh, he's better than Simeon and Lynch. I mean, come on.
And they were better than Peyton last year.
Way better than Peyton. My cell phone is a better quarterback than Peyton. You just drop it on the field, and it's like, oh my god, it's not going to...
It's taking a lot of hits.
Yeah, it's still better than Peyton, though. Doesn't matter how much damage that thing has. All right?
Seriously, you need a new phone.
I know I do. Justin Tucker said that if you split the uprights, you should get a point. I've been saying that for years.
Yep.
I just want that noted.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm the over-commissioner of all 4 sports, and I get to make all the rules, that's one of the first things that's going to come into play. But that's a great idea. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
It changes the atmosphere, because you want to kick it as deep as you possibly can and try to get that 1 point, or do you want to try to kick it to like the 1-yard line and see if they can't run it back? Because if you miss kicking it through the uprights and you give them a touchback, they're starting at the 25.
Mm-hmm.
It changes everything. Makes it a really crazy play. Love the strategy that would go on now.
No, I like it. I did hear him say that, too.
Yeah, and John Harbaugh agreed with it, and he said he was serious. People were laughing. I'm like, no, that's a great idea. I've been having that idea.
Did you see how Baltimore ended their game the other day?
Yeah, they basically cheated to win.
I mean, it's legal.
Yeah, well, okay, they get pissed at the Patriots when they do something legal. And the Patriots thing was more like, we're just going to find a loophole, and there's nothing you guys can do about it. The competition committee has, on multiple occasions, done their best to make it so that you can't commit penalties to run out a clock. Because committing penalties to run out a clock is basically cheating to win. So they keep circumventing. Like it used to be if you had
Could you imagine if the Patriots ended a game like that?
If you had too many men on the field before, you could just continuously do that to make the clock run out. Mm-hmm. And all you get was 5-yard penalties. Mm-hmm. So then they made it so that didn't work anymore. Okay? Now they're going to have to do that with this. Because otherwise you can just continuously do what they
It was
did.
an isolated incident. I mean, if teams start copycatting it, which they probably will, then yeah, they're going to have to do something about it.
Yeah, if it's legal to win a game like that, I mean, why wouldn't you just win a game like that?
They did something similar in the Super Bowl. Remember they took the safety and they ran like 20 seconds off the clock. They snapped it because they were going to punt, and he just ran around the end zone until they caught him, and then he ran out.
Yeah, that's different though.
I mean, that's legal. Nothing you can do about that. But I had still never seen that in a football game. And that ball, I went back and watched it after our
But the
conversation.
penalty thing.
I went back and watched that after our conversation last week. The catch was uncatchable, bro. That's why there wasn't a flag.
Yeah, but committing
Never would have caught it in a million years. It was over his
I
head.
don't know.
Over his head.
committing.
Over his head.
I watched the Brady final drive in the Super Bowl 36 a million times this week, by the way.
Why?
Because it's fucking awesome.
Well, why not? I guess that's
Yeah.
a better question.
Because every time he spikes the ball twice in that, yeah, first time he spikes it, he catches it with two hands, like nonchalant, caught the ball. Second time he spikes it, catches it with the one hand. He's such a fucking boss. Seriously, no quarterbacks do that when they spike it. They just spike it and let the ball go on the ground. He spikes it, pops up, he catches it. He's like, oh, hey, spikes the second time. Boss with one hand, hits the official, hey, kick, field goal kick, we're going to win this game.
What Tom Brady just did gives me goosebumps.
Yeah.
After Madden was like, oh, what are they
Yeah,
doing?
I know. I remember when I was
Okay,
watching
now I kind of like the
watching with my boy Jay at his house, and it was like, he's like, they're going to just down it here and go for it. I'm like, no, that's the dumbest thing in the world. Because your best scenario is you get the ball back where you are right now in overtime.
What people don't remember is he almost got strip sacked on the
Very first play. Yeah, no, he did. He almost got strip sacked. He ducked under, made a little completion, and I think it was Redmond, and he got like 6 yards or something.
I don't think it was that many. It was like a couple.
I want to say it was.
He like barely got over the line of scrimmage.
It was
We don't-
close,
no,
6
we don't
yards.
need to
We're gonna
look
look it up. We're gonna look it up.
No, we gotta look it up.
But so I don't know. Other than that, this we could talk about football forever. Man. I could.
all right.
Yeah.
So that's basically it. Any division. By the way, the Pats are 6-0 on the road.
Yeah, all the best teams in the league is undefeated on the road. Oakland's undefeated on the road, and so is Dallas.
Mhm.
It's actually hilarious. They all only have losses at home, which is wicked rare.
Well, one of the Pats losses at home was still a legit team. The other one was just kind of.
Well, I mean, yeah, the
Brady
third string
didn't
quarterback.
play. The best is Rex admitted. It's like, oh, we thought we were gonna win. Like Brady didn't. We knew Brady wasn't playing. We thought we were gonna win the game. So he's looking up the box score from that final drive. I want to say it was only like a 2-yard
hell's
gain.
the
I thought he
play-by-play
barely
on
got
this?
out of the line of scrimmage. Play-by-play. They didn't call that hold him McGinnis. They would have won by 100.
Oh, I know. And it really didn't affect the play, but it was a hold.
I mean, it was a hold, so I'm not gonna.
5 yards. Pretty close, man.
All right, I was wrong.
Then it was J.R. Redmond for 8.
The big one was for Troy.
Then this one was a huge play, too. He threw it out of bounds on purpose.
Mhm.
He got, like, bum rushed, and he was just like, oh,
Yep.
ran out a little bit, threw it far out of bounds, throw away. And Redmond, the big one was definitely to Brown. 23 yards.
My boy Wiggy making the final catch.
Yep. Then they just went up and boop. Awesome.
Then that Indianapolis Colt guy kicked the field goal to win it. All right, we're gonna talk. We're probably gonna finish the rest of the show on basketball. I just want to mention a couple of baseball things really quick. MLB,
my baseball?
there'll be no lockout. We have a new CBA in baseball for the next
I didn't
5
read
years.
what I know you did. You were like, yay.
All right. I wish they had abolished interleague play, but that didn't happen. One good thing
It's not
I
gonna
like.
happen, Scott.
I know.
We've been over this.
It sucks. I hate it. One of the good things from the new CBA. No longer does the All-Star Game winner have home field in the World Series. It's going to go by best record, as it should be.
I have no problem with that.
That was easy. I don't know how you feel about it. I never liked the All-Star Game thing.
No, but didn't before that they used to alternate?
Now, I would have preferred the alternating
No,
like it used to.
I like the record.
You like the record better?
You're the best team, best record, you should get home field.
Yeah, but if you're really the best team, you shouldn't need home field. The Cubs proved that. They won
It doesn't
6
matter.
and 7 on the road. They won 3 games in Cleveland.
That doesn't matter. The whole point of home field is usually it goes to the best team.
Yeah, they used to alternate for 100 years. It was fine that way, I thought.
Why should an inferior team have a home field just because they play in a certain league? And we decided to alternate. No, I think it's really dumb, honestly.
All it proves is that home field in baseball means nothing, so I don't care. But the
It
All-Star
means something.
the All-Star game, the Indians lost 3 games at home.
Scotty, I understand that, but I'm just telling you, normally, even though it doesn't mean as much as in
By the
any other
way,
sport.
the Cubs lost 2 out of the 3 at home.
Look, all right, I was going to say, it doesn't mean as much as in any other sport. It still
No,
means
hockey.
something.
hockey. Hockey and baseball are pretty much the
No,
same.
I think baseball's even less.
Hockey and pretty much the same.
It goes basketball. Home court is the superbly.
Road teams win in hockey all the time. In
Right.
Game 7s.
Home teams still win more than anything, and home teams always win more because home in every single sport, every sport. Home field advantage.
Now he's looking up stats. Stats.
Well, because it's true. I'm pretty sure it goes basketball's number one, then football,
Oh, in the
then
NBA,
hockey,
in the NBA, if
then
you're not
baseball.
in the NBA, if you're on the road in Game 7, you're fucked. You lost. The NBA is ridiculous.
Yeah,
Road teams never win Game 7 on the road.
basically.
Game 7s in the NBA. Road teams never win. But
Sorry.
that's the only point I wanted to make. I'm kind of glad that the All-Star game.
I'm sorry, MLB is slightly more than hockey. Well, there you go.
5.46 to 5.22. Okay.
So teams would win 10% more games if they played all their games at home in the NBA. 6% more, 6.4% in the NFL. 5.46% in MLB. And 5.22% in NHL. And that actually matters. Now, it's not a giant thing, but it does matter. That means that worse teams beat better teams more than they should. Every single time, it's just extra percentage.
He's just reading my stats there.
Oh, Boston, no, because Boston was incredible that year.
What are you talking
Those
about?
years. 07 through in 08 through 09 to 010. How many more games would you have won if you were at home for NBA? Utah would win 20% more games if they played at home. Boston wouldn't have won that many more.
Philly was number one.
Well, no, that means that they would have won the least extra. But
Oh.
Boston makes sense because we were so good that we won road.
Those
and
teams
home games.
won on the road all
Right.
the time.
In Philadelphia, they probably were so shitty it didn't matter where they played.
All right, so we'll finish.
Look at New England though. The Patriots would have won almost 15% more games if they were all at home. It's funny, Miami actually plays better on the road by a good amount. They're the only team by far better on the road.
Well, it's because Miami's one of the worst sports towns. And
Yeah,
actually, they've always supported the Dolphins, though.
So
It's different. Nah, it's different.
It's owned by like J Lo and Mark Anthony and all these other
I need
stars.
to know.
Yeah.
I need
It was
to
funny.
know.
He like dogged her the other day.
Oh,
Like some Latin awards show. Mark Anthony,
Yes.
like she said something and like
dude, Alexi loves him.
I know, gave him a kiss
like
and he
a
was
mother.
like, "Oh yeah, I love you like a sister."
Yeah, that's kind of
It's
gross.
like, dude, that's the mother of your children.
It's like Godfather, like 3 shit right there. That's kind of disgusting. I was thinking about that the other day.
Godfather 3, horrible movie.
No, you know what they should
Shit
do?
just ended at the end of 2.
I agree, but the third one could have been salvaged. Do you know how? Andy Garcia was actually good as Sonny's illegitimate kid in that movie. That angle was fine. I actually like that one. I like the whole angle with the Immobiliare and getting the Vatican and I like that whole angle. Keep that. Couple things here.
Keep that. We keep certain parts of a bad movie.
You pay Robert Duvall. His void in that movie. Well, they tried to have Connie be Tom Hagen, and it just didn't work. Just didn't work. Get rid of the incest cousin thing. That was gross. And Al Pacino looked awful in that movie. It looks like Ray Charles cut his hair. He didn't look like Michael Corleone. But I mean, they were good. There were definite good parts in that movie. Like I like the Immobiliare angle. The guilt over the Fredo thing was tremendous when he did the confession. That like
Look,
it has a couple of good scenes.
The main problem with that movie is this: expectations.
Well, they made it like 15 years after the second one.
Doesn't matter.
No, but I'm saying it sounded like it made it feel
Godfather
like
1, Godfather 2. How good are those movies?
top 2 movies ever. Top 3.
1 and 2. They're actually the top 5 movies, just by the two of them themselves. They're 1, 2, 3, 4,
They each
5.
count twice.
So they KRS 1. I'm not number
They each
1.
count-
Oh, I'm
no.
sorry, I lied. I'm number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Like no.
Yeah.
No.
It's like
No.
LeBron, not 1, not 2,
Not 3. I'm all of them. No. Okay, they're very good movies. Some of the greatest movies ever. They're way up there. They're not number 1,
They're
number 1 and
both
2.
they're both top 5.
Look, Gladiator's an awesome movie.
Listen, they're both top 5.
I'm not.
They're both top 5.
I think
They
Goodfellas
are.
could be better than both of them.
I think Goodfellas is better than both of them. Not by much. It goes for me.
Drinks are on. The house.
It goes for me, Goodfellas, and then
Hey, you got some booze over here? Let's go, Scott.
Godfather-
Drinks are on the house.
Godfather. They are on the house. You can drink. Godfather 1 and 2 are tied for second. It's like 2 and 2A.
Okay, so when you have those good of a movie, you can't just suddenly make a... Imagine if they made a crappy Goodfellas too.
Oh no.
That's my point.
What would it be? It'd be
Even
like
if it was a
Henry Hill and Witness Protection, like
Even if it was a C+/B- movie, and there was good parts of it, you'd be like, they fucked up the series. Why'd they do this? This fucked it up. You can't have a movie that good and not follow it up with another great movie.
The other thing too, and this is really critical for any trilogy, Godfather 1, tremendous on its own. Godfather 2, tremendous as its own movie. Godfather 3, you got to watch them in sequence for the third one to make sense.
It's got so many holes comparatively.
It's like, all right, it's like the Back to the Future trilogy, okay? Back to the Future 1, tremendous movie. Back to the Future 2, I actually thought was better than Back to the Future 1. Back to the Future 3 in the Old West, terrible movie.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Not as bad as Godfather 3, but it's bad.
It's bad. It's a bad movie.
But Godfather 2 might be...
They never fucking tell you what happened to Doc Brown.
Godfather 2 might be better than Godfather 1.
I think Godfather 2 was the best sequel ever. I don't think it's close. It's the best sequel to
Empire Strikes Back is a damn good
No.
movie.
Godfather 2.
You don't like Star Wars, so you don't count. You're just like mafia movies.
Godfather 2. Best sequel of all time. See this piece of paper right here?
Yeah.
That's like the difference. I think I'd like the original just that much more than the second one.
I don't know. The second one's great.
Tremendous.
Might be better than the first one.
Bobby Milk made that movie as a young Vito Corleone.
I'm just letting you know. It might be... Well, he is awesome as Vito Corleone.
And of course the dog stays. Still got. Okay. We were going to talk about basketball. Now, we always talk about mob movies because I got more power. All right.
Donnie Brasco, great movie.
Great
Casino,
movie.
great movie.
Casino, I'm not as high on as you.
Oh, Casino's a great movie.
Bobby Milk played a Jew in Casino and Once Upon a Time in America, and
It's probably more Jew than he is Italian.
probably.
So just let him play what he wants to play. I mean...
All right, look. Celtics are bad. They're not even mediocre at this point. They're bad.
They're not bad.
They're beating Sacramento at home.
They're mediocre.
Bravo.
What are they, 10-8?
Yeah, that's bad. Okay.
Mediocre. 5th seed in the East.
Well, the Eastern Conference is awful.
Right. So you're
All right.
mediocre.
I'm gonna say something positive about Doc Rivers. I've said this on the podcast before. I wrote a piece about it on Games of Inches, our website.
www.gamesofinches.com.
Mm-hmm.
www.gamesofinches.com.
Okay. They should go after DeMarcus Cousins. They have the assets to get him. They should do it now. They should do it today. Technically, they can't do it until December 15th, but December 15th, Danny has to say, I want Boogie Cousins today. Today.
I know, actually, you should have told him today. Like, literally, when they play him, like, December 15th, today.
No, it's December 2nd, Danny.
Today.
Don't fuck with a Mormon, man. Alright, so they need DeMarcus Cousins. They need a star. There is, again, you hear a lot of things. You hear a lot of rumors. There is a rumor that Ainge wants to make a deal for DeMarcus Cousins, but Brad Stevens doesn't want to touch him with a 49.5-foot pole. Okay?
Right, because Brad Stevens wants a college team.
Right.
And not even a good college team like Kentucky or Kansas. He wants, like, Drexel.
Worse than Butler.
Butler.
Butler went to 2 Final Fours. All right.
He wants a Wichita State.
Right.
Okay?
Okay. If Doc Rivers was still the coach of the Celtics,
They'd have Boogie Cousins already.
Danny Ainge would...
They'd have,
Listen.
you know who else would have been here?
No, listen.
Even with Olenek going. You know who else would have been here?
What? Who?
I don't know. Who did they try to get this year?
Who? Jimmy Butler? Who?
No, who did they try to get this year? Who did they court with Tom Brady?
Oh, Durant?
He'd be here if Doc was here.
Well, hold on. We're not going to get
Everyone
into
loves
that
Doc.
conversation. All right, listen. If Doc Rivers was the coach of the Celtics still, and Danny Ainge said, I have a chance to get DeMarcus Cousins, what would Doc Rivers say?
Trade Austin Rivers.
I actually like his kid. He's tough.
No,
he would say, Doc would say, do it.
Oh, yeah.
I will get him to fit into the system. I will reach him. I will make it work.
It's all
Now,
about talent in the NBA.
Brad Stevens may be he might be a better basketball coach, like X's and O's and substitutions and a rotation. I don't know.
I don't even know
But-
if he is. I mean, rotation, sure.
But listen, Doc Rivers, half of the job of a coach in the NBA, and I never questioned Doc's ability on this, is managing personalities.
Probably more than that.
All right. So
Again, it's about player talent more than anything.
Doc would look Danny in the eyes and say, "He's a stud. Go get him. I will make it work." And I'm not a Rivers fan, but I know that if Doc was here, he would say, "Go get him," because Doc says, "I always want the talent. Give me the talent. You can't win without the talent."
That's the whole point of this league.
So
this is not the NFL where you can say, "All
so
right,
if this-
make my system work."
If this is true that Brad Stevens is, rejecting these trade proposals because he doesn't think that they're good chemistry guys, then that's disgraceful, and he needs to step on his toes and say, "No, we're trading for this guy." Like today.
They need to get rid of him. Told you, he's ruined this. He's ruined this whole thing. He made them mediocre way too quick. They lost all these good picks. They have nobody that's a budding superstar.
Nobody.
They have 2 number 3s in Horford and IT. This is like, I was telling Scotty this earlier, this is like if I gave you a chessboard and I was like, I'm just going to give you 2 bishops. You get no rooks and no queen, just 2 bishops.
Boogie's
have fun playing against everyone
By the way,
else.
Boogie's having a bad night. He has 23 and 9. That's a bad night for him. He's 9 of 24. That's a bad night, and he has 23 and 10. Okay? When's the last time you saw a Celtic at 23 and 10? Garnett in like 2009? When is the last time that happened? It's been a while, right? Go get him.
Get him.
He's out there.
Should Jared
Go get him.
Sullinger did it once.
What?
Should Jared Sullinger did it once.
Sully had a couple
We love
2020 games.
Sullinger.
For a bit, I
Like,
think.
oh, Sullinger's the best. I was like, dude, they shouldn't have drafted him. Sullinger. I'm like, no. This is not like a Gronk thing. This is a thing where I'm like, don't get him. He has a bad back and he's fat. Not good in the NBA. Should have kept Big Baby. That's how much I hated Sullinger. I was like, no.
You did hate Sullinger.
Yeah, I was like, no. You guys were like, but he has potential. He should be a top 5 pick. I'm like, no. You can't. Can't have a guy that plays below the rim and is fat and has a bad back in the NBA. Never translates.
He would still be the best rebounder on this team. Actually, no, they have 4.
I'd be the best rebounder on this team.
There was a play a couple of weeks ago, and if Brad Stevens doesn't think he has a problem, there was a play a few weeks ago when they got blown out in Washington. There were 4 Celtics in the paint. 4 Celtics in the paint. One Wizard guy was on the floor. He was the only guy in the paint. He was on his back. I don't know if he got fouled. I can't remember. He got the rebound on his back and went up and scored. It's on Celtics Life. Go watch it. It's pathetic. I didn't even see that. I saw it after the fact. You can't have this. So Jimmy Conway, friggin' going to see Henry Hill in the apartment at Janice Ross's apartment. I can't have it. Just can't have it. Your wife's driving me nuts. I can't have it. You can't have that.
What was it? Friday was wives, but Saturday was with girlfriends?
I don't know if it's that or the
Or
other
vice
way around.
versa.
Whatever.
Saturday?
Whatever.
Let's come home to this, Karen.
That was a... She had the gun cock, too. Could have fucking... One like, false move, she could have blown his head off. Alright,
That's why we're fucking freaked, dude.
listen. I don't know if any of you know the story of Isaiah Austin. Chris and I were talking about this earlier today. Just want to throw this out there.
Which is one of the reasons why Gronk needs to listen.
Right. Very good. I mean, it's not to the same degree, because
Right.
it's one guy's heart instead of back.
But paralyzed is pretty bad, too.
I don't think it's to the point you'd be paralyzed.
No,
You'd have
we were saying,
chronic,
until someone said that
he'd
to
have
him.
chronic back problems the rest of his life, probably. But who knows? We'll see. Isaiah Austin was projected to be a first-round pick 2 years ago. He hasn't played in 2 years. He'd probably be still the best player on the Celtics. I just want to throw that out there. His career was cut short before the draft. He was getting a routine physical at the combine, or whatever they do.
Oh, it's a combine, NBA
Yeah.
combine.
And they found
Make
out
him
that...
jump and run.
Yeah, they found out he was had Marfan syndrome. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but basically it's a heart defect, and he ran the risk, if he did play in the NBA, to drop dead on the court and go into cardiac arrest. Now, obviously, the NBA, I thought Adam Silver, did a great job. He did a real nice gesture. You remember this? You were here.
Yeah.
He goes, the NBA drafts Isaiah, and they came up to the stage and they gave him a hat. I thought that was a great gesture.
One of the reasons why Silva's the best commissioner in all sports right now.
Probably.
The Donald's.
Well, too early for Manfred. But Manfred hasn't, done
no, but I'd say Silva's just ahead right now.
it. Okay.
Because then you got 2 bums. And we used to have 4 bums.
I know.
But now we have 2 bums and 2
I
guys
feel
that-
bad. I feel bad for Adam Silver because he was pissed about the Durant thing. He's like, I'm trying to
Fix the lead.
He's
not
like,
ruin it.
he's like, I'm trying to like make it so you can't form super teams like this, and they just keep screwing me over. But yeah, I mean, I think Silver's done a pretty good job. But they said his career was over. He's never going to play, and I think they actually got him an office job for a while. So we're talking 2.5 years later. A doctor's cleared him to play. Now, us here in Boston, we went through this before. A lot of people may not remember it. I remember it well. I know you do. You remember a guy named Reggie Lewis? He had a heart.
Don't know who he is.
He had a heart problem, and they assembled the dream team of cardiologists, and they said, "Yeah, your heart's really effed up. You should never play again." And he went to all these doctors. They said, "Your heart's effed up. Never play again." And he found Dr. Gilbert Mudge, and Gilbert Mudge says, "Oh, you just got a fainting condition. You're fine. You can play." And he dropped dead like a month later. I have a real bad feeling about this. I don't want this kid to play. I don't know how you feel about it.
I told you.
I would not risk it if I were him. I'm just having terrible
Look, if
visions.
this is his dream, you can't take it away from him.
Chris, I feel.
I understand he may die,
I have
but
a
it's not our
terrible.
choice.
I get that. I have
Just like when
I have
NFL players want to play and scramble their brains.
I have terrible visions.
If Wes Welker wanted to play and someone would pay him to play, and they would sign him, and Wes Welker was able to still play, and they would scramble his brains, he was going to be literally like generatively retarded in 10 years. But he wanted to play, and it's his dream. It's his decision, Scotty.
I just have terrible.
I'm not saying I want the kid to die. I don't want him to play.
I have terrible visions of that kid running up the court and just friggin' dropping dead.
It's quite possible.
So if I were him, why would you risk it? Just because one doctor out of 10 says, "Oh yeah, you can play," you're gonna risk your life literally and go play? I think that's crazy.
So you want Celtics to pick him up?
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Go
get him.
Best player on the team.
Best player on the team. Even if he died today, still the best player on the team.
Probably. No, but if I were the
Then we can add him to the Reggie Lewis freaking Len Bias.
Bias never played for the team though.
No, like look, if these guys hadn't died.
No, come on, let's go. Honestly, we never would have known what Bias was. We knew Reggie was a star. I don't know if that makes it better or worse.
No, but most people think Bias would have been way better than Reggie.
Yeah,
I know you love Reggie. Reggie's the greatest player ever. I get it.
No, he's not the greatest player
Player ever.
Can't deny he was a star when he died, though. He's coming into his prime.
No, he made 2 All-Star games. Good for him. Woo.
He died when he was 26.
Put like 7, 8 years in the league? 7 it was.
His first couple of years, he didn't play a ton. He was behind the big three.
I understand that. I'm just saying, if you're not an absolute phenomenal stud by 7 years in the league, which he wasn't. He was a star, but he wasn't a stud. Okay? He wasn't a number 1. Wasn't even probably number 2.
He was a number 2.
He was like a 2.5.
He could have been a number 2.
2.5, maybe a 3.
No, he was a number 2.
He wasn't infinitely better than Al Horford.
Yeah, he was. He was a better player than Horford. All right, so yeah, it was June 22nd, 2014, and it's Marfan syndrome.
Marfan syndrome, yeah.
So, yeah, awesome move there by Commissioner Silver.
Like Adam Silver, best commissioner.
He's a weird-looking motherfucker.
Oh yeah, he's a fucking alien.
Looks like an alien.
He is an alien. Him and Sam Cassell are aliens. Like they're clearly from the same race of people, from like far,
One's
far
black,
away.
one's white.
Yeah.
One's a black alien, one's a white alien.
Oh, they have different races and different species in other places. It's crazy.
Dude, Adam Silver stepped up like a fucking boss, though, and fucking being Donald Sterling.
No, I was gonna say the Donald Sterling thing.
Yeah, that took balls.
Yeah.
I was expecting like a 1-year suspension.
He's like, fuck your couch.
He's like, you are banned for life. Get the fuck out.
They should never give you Jews money. He's like, excuse me?
He's Jewish.
I know. That was the whole point. Well, the Dave Chappelle show, it's a black guy saying that.
What am I gonna do about my legs and the birthday? Fuck your
game, bitches.
There's a picture of like one player like dunking on another player. It's like Sterling's face getting dunked on, and so there's like dunking on him.
Does it say game, bitches?
No. Yeah, but look, I can't.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Listen, man, I can't overstate this enough. I'm worried about this kid's safety and his well-being. I really am.
I understand that.
I don't think it's a good idea.
But it's not our decision.
It's his, dude. I get it. It's his decision. He's an adult. He can do whatever he wants. I'm just saying, I got a terrible feeling about
There's
it.
nothing that you'd be willing to die for. A dream. No dream.
Me?
Like if they were like, Scotty Cash, you can play in the World Series, but there's a chance you can die. but you get to play in the World Series.
My life is miserable, so I'd try it.
All right, maybe this kid feels the same way. My life is miserable. I just want to play in the NBA.
I don't know. Let's put it this way. In the next year or so, I just don't want him to get in the league and play well and then just drop dead one night.
But it could happen, and you know what? It's selfish on his part to some extent because if he dies, it affects other people more than him. I mean, I know you're dead.
He's lucky.
But then you're gone.
He's lucky that they found this. It could have gone undetected. He could have played in the league. He's dead already.
Yeah, who the hell was that Detroit running back? They were doing a physical on him one time randomly. He had brain cancer. When he was about to get traded a couple years ago.
Can't remember.
I mean, things like that.
Remember Hank Gathers? Died on the court.
Detroit.
That stuff happens. For a second, I thought you were going to say Ironhead Hayward. But then when you said Lions.
Jerome Harrison.
Is he still alive?
Yeah.
Does he still have brain cancer, I'm assuming, right?
I'm not even sure.
Dude, how's Paul doing? Just on the side.
He's doing all right, actually.
Really? Has he come in recently?
No.
I gotta call that dude.
Failed a physical, got a brain tumor when they're going to trade him.
That's not good.
How incredible is that?
Pretty freaking gut-wrenching.
Yeah, but they're going to... Thank God, though. Thank God he plays in the NFL, and then they do these crazy checks on you when they're going to trade you. But he was literally just going to be traded.
If it were up to Goodell, he would have been like, oh, he's fine.
Yeah, he says, let him play. They were going to trade him, and they found he had a brain tumor. It's great. I know it's horrible, but if he wasn't in the NFL, if he was just a normal Joe Schmo, he's dead in a couple months after that.
Well, I mean, you can't really... Treatment for brain tumors, even though they've come a long way with cancer treatment, is still kind of like a death sentence. I mean, very, very rarely do you beat it. But
no, right now he's... I don't know if he is yet, but they thought he was going to become a quadriplegic, which... He's still alive.
Yeah.
That may have saved his life. Maybe it's only for 5 years, but...
I guess.
I mean, normal people don't get MRIs every couple months to find out what kind of tumors they have.
I just hope the kid's careful. That's
Same
all
thing
I'm
with
saying.
Marcus Cannon. Maybe they would have never found out he had cancer.
I hope that kid's careful, because I've seen interviews. He seems like a really good kid. I just don't want to see anything bad happen to him.
I'm not saying I want to watch him go out there and shoot a three and die. Look, 4-point play! You know what I mean? Like, no.
No.
Oh, no, someone else shoots the foul shot because he just died. You know what I mean? Like,
That'd be so awkward.
he shoots a three.
Like, they could pick anyone off the bench.
First of all, you have to assume that they're going to stop the game, right? But are they going to start right from where they were? And then, like, 2 days later, it's like, all right, Olenek, it's your shot. Go hit the foul shot. Come on.
That reminds me of, do you know what that reminds me of?
Do it for Isaiah.
That reminds me of, remember when Pierce, it was game 6 in 05 in Indy, remember Pierce got kicked out of the playoff game?
Yeah.
And he waved the shirt over his head. So,
that was when the people were really starting to think he was an asshole.
Yeah, it didn't. It was like there was like a year period in there where like he was acting like.
He looked bad.
I think Red Auerbach called it disgraceful when he did that. Like publicly, he said it was disgraceful.
I remember a couple people were people
Red was pissed, but because he was still
people were looking at him like a punk.
Red still kind of had his marbles on, but I'll never forget because I knew what the rule was. The Pacers could pick anyone off our bench to shoot the foul shots, and I'm saying, don't pick Perkins, don't pick Perkins, don't pick Perkins, and Perkins at the foul line. I'm like, fuck.
Wouldn't you pick Perkins?
Oh, of course.
Well, was Perkins like 19, 18 at the time anyways?
I don't know.
The baby.
I think Rick Carlisle's a good coach, so I knew he was going to pick him.
You'd pick the worst shooter that you could.
I think Antoine hit a 3 in overtime that game to win that game. Then they got blown out in game 7.
I went to one of those games that year.
They got killed in game 7.
It might have been game 7.
I went to game 2 when they got killed. They lost 3 games at home.
I know.
Never should have lost that series. That was when I first started to realize, like, man, this guy fucking Rivers can't coach.
Listen, they were. You just said he can coach. You can. How are the Clippers doing this year?
They lost to the Nets the other night.
Okay, what's their record? They also just beat Golden State. No, they beat Cleveland.
They lost to the Nets.
They lost to Harden and Houston beat Golden State.
They lost to the Brooklyn Nets.
Harden beat Golden State in double overtime.
They lost to the Brooklyn Nets.
James Harden, which goes to your point of who's the MVP.
All right, want to end the show on that? Bring up the numbers.
Yeah, we can bring up the numbers.
I think those two are clearly...
David Ortiz, by the way, says that the Red Sox should give extensions to the triple Bs, basically. Bradley Bogart's bets.
Bats, definitely. The other two, I would listen to trade offers if you could get frontline starting pitcher.
Well, you can always say that. But...
It's like if the White Sox say like, "Oh, if you give us Bogarts and Bradley for Chris Sale straight up," you got to think about it. You do.
See, here we are. Here we
All
are.
right, so we're gonna bring up the. I think it's 1 and 1A for MVP right now with these two guys. Westbrook is second in league history this deep into a season, averaging a triple-double behind only the Big O.
All right, James Harden right now is 28.7 points per game.
Round up, so 29 points.
12, and 8.
Yeah.
29, 12, and 8. Okay.
Well, 12,
James Harden.
12 assists, 8 rebounds, just to clarify.
Yeah. I'm
Now,
just telling you.
now do Westbrook.
And Westbrook has 31, 11, and 11. It's absurd. They're both absurd.
So basically, Harden has him by a couple of assists, and Westbrook's leading in points and rebounds.
He has him by part of an assist.
Yeah.
And Westbrook has him by
No, I
2
thought he was
points.
averaging 13 assists. He was
No,
averaging
12.
12.
Westbrook has him by 2 points and about 2 rebounds.
And I know Westbrook's a better defender because your son's a better defender than Harden is.
Well, Harden doesn't try it. It's not that Westbrook isn't a good defender. Harden doesn't try very hard at defense.
He doesn't try, period, not try very hard.
Once in a while.
Watch Shaqtin' a Fool. It's on YouTube.
I understand that, and you love going to that like couple of. And I know
Shaqtin' a Fool.
Shaq.
He's Shaqtin' a Fool.
hates Harden too.
Yeah, he does.
Like,
Do you know who's on? Do you know who's on Shaqtin' a Fool every week now for flopping? Smart.
oh, I'm sure he is.
He's gonna win the award this year. He's gonna win it.
Now Durant is 28 points, 5 assists, 9 rebounds. That's not bad considering he plays in a super team. You gotta remember that.
Well, you're only playing with one basketball, so yeah, it's pretty
Right.
impressive.
Those 3 guys are honestly probably the best 3 players in the league right now. I'm not including LeBron James, who's just like in shut it down mode and is going to come out in the playoffs and try.
Oh, shut it down mode is what 28. 7,
No,
7.
it's like 25, 12, and 8 or whatever it is. I don't know what it is.
Still the
exactly,
best
but-
player in the league.
Yeah. Hold on, we gotta find him. We'll find LeBron.
He's right there, 14.
14. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. 23, 9.
23, 9, and 8. Yeah,
I
terrible.
mean, he's just coasting.
He's on cruise control.
Yeah. He really is. He's like, taking a Sunday drive, just strolling around the park. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
he's barely trying. He's just trying to make his team the number 1 seed, and then he'll kick it in the playoffs.
He's probably already top 5 or 6 ever.
Told you, I got him 4.
He's right there.
It goes Jordan.
Russell, Kareem, him.
No, I go Kareem Russell,
Whatever.
then him. But regardless, those 4 guys, those 3 guys, I think are all better than him. And then there's a slight gap, and then him. And then there's a little bit of a gap, and then there's Wilt. And then I got Magic and Bird. Then I got Shaq and Duncan. We can keep going if you want, but then we got Olajuwon and Kobe.
I think Kobe's way overrated.
No, I don't. I think he's better than you. Then I get Moses.
He's a better Carmelo Anthony with 5 rings if he played with Shaquille.
No, he's a way better defender than Carmelo. Even better passer than Carmelo. But Carmelo is actually one of the worst passes historically ever. They make fun of Carmelo, and especially stat heads. They call him a black hole. Like, if you give him the ball, it's the worst decision. He's either shooting or it's a turnover. There's no other, like, ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Yeah, they called McHale a black hole, but he scored every time.
Yeah, but the difference is, I mean, Carmelo's smooth as shit, but it's not like he scores as much as you would think.
He's actually
It's impossible to defend.
he takes a ton of shots. He's a good scorer, but he takes a ton of shots. He averages 30 a game. He's actually an underrated rebounder. He's a good rebounder
Not as good as Pierce.
for his career.
Yeah.
Pierce averaged about 6 for his career.
Right.
He's
Well,
almost 7.
You let me know when this dude's like 80 and he can't rebound, and then we'll see how his career average looks compared to Pierce.
Dude, Pierce looks awful right now.
Right. Well, Pierce is old.
He looks so bad.
What happens at the end of your career? You keep playing. You have better overall volume numbers and longevity, but your per game numbers. And
he's going to have 27,000 points for his career, but
he's going to average like 18 points per game because he didn't want to retire 3 years ago.
Yeah. When he left the Celtics, he had like a 23
point per game average.
And now he's down to 19 points.
That's my point. Is Carmelo's 32, he has got 24.9 points per game.
Oh.
If he plays till he's 40, that's going to be like 18.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not going to have as good a peak as Pierce. He's not as good a player as Pierce. He had one really outstanding season. I mean, he's already kind of a bum. He's 32. Pierce was better than this at 32.
Pierce is a top 50 player.
This is probably a top 45, 40 player. Right around there.
Yeah. You do the top 50 over, he's in it.
Yeah.
The only in his time,
He's better than Parrish. Sorry.
In his time in the league, the only forward better than him was LeBron James. That's it. He's better than everyone else.
Depends if you count
Well, no, I'm talking small forwards. I'm not talking about like Nowitzki and Duncan and those guys.
The power forwards were a beast.
No, we're not talking about Garnett. We're not talking about Nowitzki. We're not talking about Duncan. We're not talking about those guys. We're talking about threes. I would consider LeBron a 3. Actually, LeBron could play 1 through 5 because he's such a freak.
LeBron can play whatever he wants. LeBron can play coach.
He is a coach.
Play GM. Play whatever. They don't care.
He is a coach. And by the way, if Danny Ainge is listening to this, because I know he is, and we're going to talk to Rich Gotham next Friday, so we're going to have to decide when the podcast is going to be.
Do we want to tell these people our questions, or should we wait? Do you want to leave that tease out there?
Yeah, we'll leave the tease out there, but I do want to say one of my questions to Rich Gotham is going to involve Kelly Olynyk and Tom Brady. So you probably already know what the question's going to be. I know you do.
No, I know a million questions.
So I'm wondering if that's going to get a laugh when I ask it, or if it's going to be like deadly serious.
They're probably going to be like, "You guys going to leave?"
No, they're probably going to be. The people in the room are probably going to be like, "Yeah, why did you do that?"
People in the room are probably like, "Who's that?"
Brady or Olynyk?
Both.
Oh, did you know Mooney got invited to that thing?
No.
Yeah, I told her to go and like hang out with us. She doesn't know if she's going.
Did she really get invited?
Yeah.
How'd you get invited?
I have no idea. She got invited on like I did on LinkedIn.
I think you just invited a ton of people.
I don't know. I mean, it says like a minimum of 75.
Minimum of 75?
No, like a maximum of 75 people is what I meant. So it's not going to be
I
like.
think maybe he just sent an invite to like 2,000 people on LinkedIn.
I don't know. Maybe he did. But you have to be his friend on LinkedIn. I'm his friend.
Oh, that's a lot. You're his friend on LinkedIn.
I took care of his mom at the
I
oil
took
company.
care of her. I'm like, I don't know what that means, Scotty.
I helped her with her oil account is what it means.
I don't mean you running her groceries, you laid the pipe, you killed her. I have no idea what you did.
She's a very nice lady.
I have no idea what you did.
All right, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. All right, so we'll call it a wrap.
Remind you of somebody?
What?
The photo. Does it remind you of somebody?
What photo? Oh, it looks like someone we know. I didn't know what you were talking about. All right, check us out on www.gamesadventures.com.
We are writing.
Yeah, we are writing again. Also, too, check us out on YouTube. I'm also going to post
Chris
it.
and Cash Show. Chris and Cash Podcast.
I'm going to start posting the link to every podcast on the site.
And we may start being syndicated and our broadcast through a different website and radio station.
SoundCloud
type thing. Well, with a certain network of podcasts.
Yeah,
so
we gotta talk to our admin guy, our admin pal, and then we'll
call him Papa.
Papa. Oh yeah, we'll call him Papa, and we'll see what's going on with that. But we'll talk to you next week. We'll see what Rich Gotham had to say on the maybe Chris and Cash show, and maybe we can get him on.
We can try.
All right, he's always welcome on the show.
Have a great week.
Yep.